Okay, so it's that time again. It's time to review another issue of the Amazing Spider-Man comics. If you guys have been following this series for a while, you will know that I have been reviewing this series on this channel. And let's just say it ain't been good so far. But you know what? Actually, this issue ain't too bad. I'm gonna be honest. This issue is actually alright, and I'm going to explain to you why. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. Atlas at the moment has the best deal in the market. They currently released a summer deal, and it's absolutely awesome. You get their premium service of ads and malware blockage, data protection on as many devices as you like, and keeping your Google searches private, all for $1.83 per month, with 3 extra months on top for absolutely nothing. Not to mention, if you're on holiday or you're abroad and you've got some downtime and you feel like watching a couple of episodes of Spectacular Spider-Man, but they ain't available on that country's streaming services, well, Atlas got you covered on that too. Just change your location back to home and bing bang boom, Ben's your uncle. Personally, I've always actually wanted to invest in a VPN, but I've always found that they're really expensive, but that's where Atlas really does shine. So if you don't want to be like Peter Parker and have your whole identity leaked to the world, or you just want to catch up on your favorite show for a ridiculously cheap price, Atlas VPN is for you. But be quick, their summer deal runs out soon. So check the link in the description to gain your discounted price for Atlas's premium services today. You will not regret it. So obviously everything that has come before this issue building up to this arc of Peter taking on the Goblin Serum. If you guys missed my video on the last comic, as we know, at the end of that comic, in a fight between Kraven, Norman, and Peter, essentially Peter got stabbed with this spear, which would essentially give Norman his Green Goblin powers back. But instead of stabbing Norman, Peter put himself in the way of Norman and got stabbed himself, saving Norman in the process, but also giving Spider-Man the Green Goblin powers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a really cool idea, okay? That's a sick idea. I like this because something that Zeb Wells and these recent comics haven't really done too well is expanding upon new ideas and fresh ideas. And when they do something original, it's just not very good. Like the whole time travel thing with MJ and Paul and all that stuff, it's written really badly. Plus it negates all the stories that came before it, all the stuff and all the work that Nick Spencer did to get these guys back together just completely went out the window with that story. And it wasn't even like it was paid off in any sort of satisfying way at all. But obviously we've already spoke about that, so I won't go on too much about that here. But my overall point is I feel like Zeb Wells doesn't really do original concepts that interestingly. When he's done concepts used by other writers before, like using Peter's past with Gwen Stacy as an emotional anchor point like he did in Judgment Day, it works really well. But Gwen Stacy being an emotional anchor point has been overdone to the bare bones. Okay, the amount of times that the comics use Gwen Stacy as a Peter's sad today kind of thing, it's just boring. Like, stop using Gwen Stacy, do something different. And even though Zeb Wells wrote Black Cat and Spider-Man's relationship really well for the few issues that they were together, that's something that has also been done before. But something that we haven't actually seen before is Peter go all Goblin mode and just wreak havoc around New York City as the Green Goblin. Now that's cool. Okay, that is freaking cool. And Zeb Wells, I tell you what, I know I've spent 2 minutes of this video just absolutely ripping into the comics again, but I'm just going to be honest, this issue is really cool. So essentially this issue follows Peter and essentially he is hunting Kraven the Hunter. Now it takes a lot of inspiration from Kraven's Last Hunt, but essentially flips it on its head. So instead of Kraven being the one that hunts Spider-Man, it is Spider-Man hunting Kraven. And it plays on a lot of the themes from Kraven's Last Hunt, but instead this time it's actually Peter getting his revenge for what Kraven did to him during the events of Last Hunt. So as you guys probably know, it's one of the most iconic images in all of Spider-Man comics is Spider-Man breaking from the grave that Kraven put him in. And this is referenced multiple times throughout this issue, and in fact Spider-Man even says that he's gonna get his revenge on Kraven for him doing that to Spider-Man. This issue also plays on a lot of Kraven's insecurities, similar to how Kraven's Last Hunt actually did as well. But instead of it being a carbon copy of Kraven's Last Hunt, it bounces really well with the aggressive and quite volatile nature of Spider-Man in this comic book. I'm not gonna lie, Peter is scary. Like, Zeb Wells writes Peter in a very disturbing and scary manner. Like, he is completely out of character to whatever we have seen from Peter before. Like, you thought Peter was out of character just generally in these Zeb Wells comics? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, okay, until you read this one. But like I said, I think it's a really interesting concept having Spider-Man hunt his villains, and using Kraven as the first victim in this long-haul hunt, as it seems that they are setting up, is actually a really clever idea. And the comic actually ends with Kraven being buried alive, just as Spider-Man was in Kraven's last hunt. And Spider-Man stands over him, and he actually says something really sinister, something that we haven't actually seen in these comics for a very long time. Spider-Man throws Kraven's rifle in and says, "In case you want to skip to the end." That's really dark. That's really, really dark. I haven't read anything like that in a Spider-Man comic for such a long time. The whole time during this issue, I was thinking, okay, someone is going to stop Peter. Someone is going to find a way to get that goblin serum or get that goblin nature out of Spider-Man's head. But no, Peter just straight up wins and straight up buries Kraven alive. And he even says, you know what, if you want to end it all, just do it. Like, Jesus Christ, this is dark. And the whole issue kept me on the edge of my seat, just wanting to see Kraven succeed. Because I know this isn't the Peter Parker that we have been following. I know this is not the Peter Parker that I am invested in. We know that we want Kraven to win simply because Peter is now the bad guy. Nonetheless, it provided a really interesting story, and to be quite honest with you, this is something really different, like I said, that we haven't actually seen before. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go next. And what are the villains we could potentially see Peter hunt down and potentially kill? Like, this is a possibility. One thing I will say that I really don't want them to do is I really don't want this to be like a 1 or 2 issue thing. I want this to go on for at least maybe 5 issues, because I think this concept is so interesting that I think you could get some really, really good stories out of it. And I know we are referencing a lot of Kraven's last hunt in this issue, but that is a given since Kraven was one of the main characters in this arc. But I don't want them to stop just there with this concept. I want this concept to bleed into other characters in the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. I want to see what would happen if Spider-Man was to hunt down all of the villains that have wronged him. And potentially, who knows, he might even go after Paul. And while we're on a little positive streak in this video, I actually really love the art here. Like, yeah, I know I've been complaining about the art in this series for quite a while, but Patrick Gleason in this issue does a magnificent job of just encapsulating a dark and just gritty Spider-Man, managing to emulate the fear that we should feel when Peter goes all goblin. Like, I think no one else could have done a better job here. He did absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is literally the first issue that I've reviewed in this whole series of videos where I've been mainly positive about what I've just read. I think I'm just overwhelmed positively by how much I like the concept. Maybe the issue isn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't written like completely perfectly. Like, some of the dialogue was off here and there, but I love this concept. It's something new, it's something fresh, and it's something new that Zeb Wells has actually executed pretty decently for a first issue in this new story, I guess you could say. So I'm excited to see where they take it next. Who is Peter going to hunt next? Is it going to be maybe potentially Paul? Could it be another villain in the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery? I want to see where this goes next. I hope this isn't a 1 or 2 issue thing, because if it is, I'm going to be really disappointed and we'll be back to complaining about all these issues. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you all think in the comment section down below of this issue, and if you actually think positively of this, like I do. But out of the way, if you want to support me as a creator, the best way that you can do that is by joining my memberships, and essentially it's just 99 pence a month, which is like $1.50. So it's really, really cheap, and essentially you get every single video I post early, priority reply to comments, badges, exclusive posts, exclusive updates, calendar updates, everything from my channel and from other channels that I have as well. You get all the updates exclusively early for you guys only. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.